The difference between Sincere and KC and the reaction and treatment they got from the girls on movie night is pretty clear and obvious if you ask me. The girls were outraged by a combination of KC's blatant disrespect and just lack of accountability, while the girls were just floored by Sincere's manipulation. Both of which were caught in 4K, but when it comes down to the difference between disrespect and full-blown manipulation, let's not even assume disrespect because there's a gray area there. Let's just look at the facts. Starting with KC, when he called Anaya grandma behind her back because she wouldn't be physically intimate with him in bed. I don't have to beg for kisses from TT, just his expectation and sense of entitlement to physical connection and validation. And the whole, was Anaya a safe option or his first option? And she was clearly his safe option. And last, but certainly not least, in the clusterfuck of shit KC's done, he got defensive and tried to deflect and downplay his actions rather than take accountability and apologize. He did eventually apologize, but it took a lot, and his apology just literally was not sincere, no pun intended. He literally goes, was that enough? Shorty, you just doing this because you're supposed to have this conversation. You don't give a fuck. We all know you don't give a fuck. You know you don't give a fuck. Now Anaya knows you don't give a fuck. Everybody know you never gave a fuck. The problem is you've been telling Anaya this whole time you give a fuck and that you care about her. You're telling other people behind her back you still care about her and you want her to be happy. Shorty, no, you don't. Because we also have footage of you with the guys at Casa Amor talking about some, I don't really give a fuck either. So, which one is it, bro? Because we all know which one it is. I'm on some gall shit. Hold on. Quick caveat, because Sincere is not the only one to blame here. Anaya did bring her own past trauma experiences with her to this experience, and she did project a little bit onto KC early on. Her constant need for validation in an early relationship with KC definitely pushed him away a little bit. And so, as America, we're like, Anaya, chill. KC, why couldn't you have just said that too? Instead, you decided to feed her lies and tell her that she's not just a safe option and that he's not looking to explore, even though he did. And by doing so, you further attached an anxiously attached person to you via lies. So when those true colors come to light, you get the outburst that we saw, whereas Sincere, who we'll get to in a second, was met with sheer disbelief and utter silence because they were just mad that they couldn't believe someone could be so fucking manipulative. But again, before we unpack Melanie and Sincere, the gray area is that people do disagree, whether we like it or not. It's unfortunate on what is respect and what is disrespectful. More specifically, a woman's place. In other words, the red pillification of young men, Gen Z, Gen X, even some millennials. Let's use Corbin, the epitome, if you will, of the red pillification of young men. But when it comes to Corbin, at least we know who he is. I'm sorry, y'all, but Shorty is jokes. If you can't get down with him, if you can't find a way to appreciate the humor and the trolling antics of him simply because you're not fond of the way he treats women, I totally understand that. I totally respect that. I, for one, am able to separate the art from the artist, or in this case, the trick from the troll or the joke from the jester, just for entertainment and comedic value so that I'm not sitting here ready to fucking beat the shit out of the TV. And again, if you simply can't do that, I totally understand. And honestly, I just choose to because, while yes, these are real people, to me, they're characters. They're actors on a screen. And another thing about Corbin, real quick, he's a writer. I ain't gonna lie, you need to be careful surrounding yourself with a bunch of Corbins because they will stroke your ego and try to get you to act in ways that aren't necessarily, why the fuck am I trying to sugarcoat this shit? He'll make you toxic, but he will fucking ride for you and have your back and try to defend you even when there's truly no route or angle to have your back. He was trying to defend KC when he was getting grilled by the girls, and he tried to talk at one point. He was looking for something and he made this face. He's like, I really got nothing here. Sorry if it feels like I'm defending Corbin here, but Shorty is great for TV. He needs to be the bombshell year after year. Just keep bringing him back because he's great at this job. But back to KC, who spends a lot of time with Corbin in Casa Amor. And Corbin kind of just what I say, he gonna turn you toxic. So when he's with the boys, he tries to exude all this confidence and bravado and ego. But when he's with the girls, he wants them to think otherwise. But true colors always come to light. Shout out movie night. Damn, that was a bar. But at movie night, the girls viciously tore KC apart. And I personally think it's going a little too far. But again, it's the lack of accountability on KC's end. He eventually apologized, but he just did it because he had to. And he tried to deflect and he tried to bring up other shit and spit it back onto the girls. So that led to all this rage and emotions and just dogpiling low-key. I personally think it's a bit excessive, but that doesn't mean it's not warranted. Now, Sincere, on the other hand, actually, before we get into the reaction and treatment of the girls toward Sincere, I want to talk about the difference between KC and Sincere. It appears that Sincere has always been a player. Like, he knows what it's like to entertain multiple women and have hoes, so to speak. KC seems new to this. He don't know how to be a player, as made evident by his reluctancy and inability early on to pursue Soul, even though he knew he wanted to. His conversation with Sydney where he was talking about how he wanted to put on Family Guy and he's very vanilla in bed and he doesn't play with toys. And the fact that as soon as a new girl, TT in this case, aroused him and pursued him and gave him that affection that Anaya seemingly couldn't, he jumped ship. Now, I made a whole 3-minute long video detailing this and how it just feels like Casey fell in love with a stripper. But what is really giving is this red pill shit I've been trying to tell y'all about. The fact that he expects women to treat him a certain way and feels a sense of entitlement to physical intimacy, whereas Anaya, who is more of a slow burn when it comes to that kind of stuff, instead of accepting her for that and communicating the lack of compatibility on his end towards her, he still decided to reassure her and make her feel safe and tell her that he wasn't interested in anybody else, that he didn't want to pursue any other connections. And as soon as he got away from her, shorty went buck wild. And like, it's one thing to go buck wild and do your big one and like, you know what I'm saying, Mac, but like, it's another thing to blatantly disrespect her behind her back. And if any of you red pill incel gobblers try to gaslight me and call me L-mans or I'm not a bro's bro, shorty, y'all fucked up for enabling and low-key putting bro on a fucking pedestal and championing this behavior. Like, that shit gross to me. Y'all put women in 2 buckets. They either a housewife or they a hoe. Like, they a promiscuous item for you to kind of just do whatever you want with. So like, if a girl doesn't satisfy your needs, she's this, she's that, she's anything but. She needs to be put in her place. Like, shorty, it's okay to just not be compatible with somebody, go your separate ways. You don't have to tear somebody down, you in this case KC, to prove a point, and 2, to justify your actions moving forward, and 3, when you do get called out, just fucking take accountability, bro. Sorry if all roads end up leading me back to KC, but I just, for the life of me, cannot understand. I mean, I get it, like how people don't see it, like they're missing the point, and it kind of infuriates me because it feels obvious, whereas like Sincere, who we'll talk about now, is far more complicated. He's far more devious. Shorty low-key evil, y'all. I'm telling y'all, if he has a whole family on the outside, like, I would not be surprised. Like, he'll say shit that sounds good. Like, here, I wrote some shit down. Like, I just want to lead with honesty. I'm trying to protect everybody. I'm following my heart. I don't want to hurt anybody. Like, his words sound sincere, like his heart is in the right place, but he moves entirely different. And these fucking metaphors, often misused to like justify and moralize his intentions, like the fucking dual fish situation. Like, you could have 2 beautiful fishes. Like, shorty, you telling us that you're trying to have a polygamous relationship going on. And even the way he like frames his intentions, like, you really got to pay attention, because shorty crafty. Like, instead of being like, I want to explore Amora, he'll say shit like, I owe it to Amora and everyone in here to allow them the opportunity to explore me. Like, shorty is diabolical, bro. It comes across as like virtuous, right? But it's selfish and it's manipulative and it's nasty fucking work, bro. And to take it a step further, like, he's really good at taking accountability and saying sorry. You're right. I hear you. I understand. I respect that. No, I see where you're coming from. That makes sense. Totally. Yeah, no, I fucked up. Yeah. But it's just to diffuse the situation so that he could go back to doing whatever he intended to do. So people, his connections, Melanie and Soul, they leave these conversations feeling heard and understood and like they made progress. And then we see what happens at movie night, and they're just floored. Like, they literally don't have the words. So that's personally why I think KC and Sincere were treated and reacted to differently on movie night. And again, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a sociologist, not an anthropologist. I'm just a motherfucker who did a show. So I did this shit, and I did this shit in real life. And I don't know, this is just what I think. Look, we'll do a breakdown of me at some point, honestly, but let's stay on track right now. We're 2/3 of the way through Love Island, and let's just map this shit out real quick. Look, I made this for y'all with the help of my friend Corbin GPT. It maps out all the connections, the current ones, the major connections, the ones that have been explored, and the ones that were briefly explored. If you noticed, Zach and Bryce have a major connection still actively. I've also got this cheat sheet where you can clearly see who's been with who and the relationship status of each person. So looking at both of these, choose whichever one you like, take a screenshot, whatever the fuck, I don't really care. With zero context, we clearly see Kenzie, you a bop. I'm sorry, shorty, but like, the numbers don't lie. Corbin, on the other hand, it looks like he's played Love Island perfectly. He got a pink heart, a yellow heart, and a blue heart. Pink with Parmita, yellow with Kenzie, and blue with Gal. Wait, what? That was supposed to be Melanie, but honestly, I ain't putting shit past Gal. That was actually a mistake. My fault, y'all. But that's why I say Corbin is great for Love Island. Like, make him the recurring celebrity all-star appearance bombshell year after year. He's good at this shit, y'all. Does that mean he's a stand-up dude in real life? Not necessarily. But, like, look, Batman needs a Joker. You feel me? In order for Batman to be Batman, you need a Joker in life. But this Kenzie shit is hilarious to me, y'all. Dylan, Corbin, Zach, Caleb, and Gal. And low-key Gabe, too. Like, that shit happened. But what they say, hoes gonna be hoes, so I couldn't blame Tammy. And I'm sorry if hoe feels a little too harsh. We'll say Kenzie is a sexually free, open, and willing person. Lustful, if you will. I ain't gonna lie, shorty a bop. Like, it just is what it is. And, like, you know, your actions speak for themselves. It's just the fact that Dylan was crying over shorty. Oh, my mama, them tears better be performative, bro. Ain't no way in hell you crying over a Trish, bro. That's rule number one. I made a video about this, too. You better stand the fuck up, dog. I'm hoping you're acting. Like, I'm praying you're acting. Because if this is actually who you are, that's soft. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm pro, like, get in touch with your feminine side. Like, but that's soft. Not even I feel bad. Like, that was probably a little insensitive. Honestly, if this is who you actually are, bro, like, you should probably leave the villa and go seek professional mental health help. Because crying over a Trish, and you known her for, what, like 3 days, gang? What? I remember Yemen tried to tell me I was going to cry at the finale on my show for Perfect Match. And I was like, shorty, what? Like, you clearly don't know me. Ain't no way in hell. But I can't fucking wait for tomorrow night's episode, second half of movie night. I do want to talk more about the girls because I don't want to let Anaya and Melanie just completely off the hook because they do bear some responsibility. Now, they are definitely the victims here, but like their behaviors and actions and the things they brought into the show did not help their situation at all. So this ought to be a learning lesson for everyone involved. And what do y'all got predicted for? Oh shit, what's up, Kitty? You got any predictions for after tomorrow night's episode? I got a feeling that Zach, Bryce, and Gal are gonna be in a love triangle.